Hi everyone, very good afternoon. This is Ishita here. I'm the trainer for SAP SuccessFactors Learning Management System from Uplatz. And today I will be talking about the introduction of SAP SuccessFactors Learning Management System, the overview of the learning management system in correlation to how it benefits employees and the company in the day-to-day activities, and how does it, what are its various usages, and why is SAP SuccessFactors Learning Management System extensively used worldwide, for upskilling of the employees in various aspects. So let's move on to the next slide to talk about it further. So this is the first slide where we will be talking about introduction. What is exactly SuccessFactors Learning Management all about? So learning is a strategic initiative. So what is learning as a strategic initiative? As a strategic initiative, it means to say that, it is an initiative which has been taken by various clients and various organizations across the globe to help the employees in upskilling themselves, to help them understand various topics and areas of interest which would they would like to learn, and they would like to understand, for the development of their own self as well as for their career growth. And this is also helping, as we see that, there are this is implemented across worldwide. There would be various diverse cultures across the globe. So since various diverse cultures are there across the globe, we also have a feasibility of SAP SuccessFactors learning management system, giving an option to implement this system or use this system basically into various languages. Like we can use in English UK, English US, Chinese, and various other languages. So learning as a strategic initiative has taken various measures to incorporate the various requirements by the business and their organizations to help their employees for the development. So have a look at what is learning as a strategic initiative. It is a continuous process of learning, which is the key to success of today's top performing companies. So if you look at the, world statistics of usage of SAP SuccessFactors learning management system, we have almost seen that all the top performing companies are using this tool, to help their employees in driving profit and innovation. Now we know that, this is the era of artificial intelligence, innovation, and automation. So there are many automations also happening across the globe. So in order to drive that, success factors learning is building up various contents and various learning courses wherein they can help their employees to understand how innovation works, how automation process works, and what is automation. So in order to build that learning, in order to give the platform for learning to their employees, SAP SuccessFactors learning methodology is being used. So this is also used for the retention of star employees, changing demographics and development of the new employees, which are basically called new hires in the organization, globalization and alignment of diverse cultures. A learning management system can also drive and support continuous learning. It also helps us to expand learning into the work environment, support learning across organizational and global boundaries, take learning beyond the traditional formal LMS environment, focus on compliance, elimination of non-integrated solution. So when we talk about focus and compliance, so how is compliance related to, SAP SuccessFactors learning management system? It is related because, as we talk also about new hires, we talk about compliance. So when the new hires are, there are certain mandatory trainings that they are required to complete. So even if we have seen that we have joined various organizations, we have got onboarded with various companies, they have some mandatory trainings for them, their companies to complete. So after we complete those trainings, they will help us to get onboarded, they will help us to provide with the system access. So the success factors learning management system helps in getting the employees being compliant to the organization standards. So if you are not completing certain mandatory trainings, it means what? You are non-compliant, right? You have not adhered to the guidelines of the organization. So this is what it means, focus on compliance. So it is also supporting various models across organization and global boundaries. This is not only supported in India, this is not only supported to in a specific geography, this is supported across worldwide. It is supported in APAC, it is supported in Europe, it is supported in Southeast Asia, even if we go to US, UK, it is used worldwide extensively for the users to drive a process of continuous learning. All right, so let's move to the next slide. What is SAP SuccessFactors learning based on? So SAP SuccessFactors learning is nothing but, it is based on a cloud-based solution that gives talent solutions, core HR, and workforce analytics. So when we talk about analytics, you might be thinking, how does, learning correlates to analytics? So learning correlates to analytics. When I talk about compliance, when I talk about new hires, when I talk about employees upskilling themselves, so analytics is nothing but, you might have understood that analytics is a self-defined term which is means reporting. So there are various LMS reporting, various methods of reporting which is used and which is a part of SAP SuccessFactors learning. So in order to build that reports, what is used? It is analytics tool. Analytics tool helps us to, helps the users, helps the HR to understand the data where the users are compliant. Are they compliant? Are they non-compliant? Have they completed the required mandatory training? What are the learnings that they are required to complete in order to upskill themselves? Suppose I might be a consultant in the organization. I might need to grow my career into a managerial role. So in order for me to grow from a consultant role to a managerial role, what are the skill set that I am required to possess in order to become a manager? So I need to complete certain set of learnings. I as a manager should follow certain do's and don'ts in the organization. So which will be the platform? So SAP SuccessFactors learning will be the platform for us to complete those learnings and help us upskill ourselves and grow into the career on. So next point is SAP SuccessFactors is a scalable solution and is one of the leading HR talent management suite in today's competitive market. So I said that is extensively used worldwide across the globe in all the countries. We have also a feasibility of using various translations. We can implement the system into various languages as per the country specific language. We have been provided with that flexibility to opt for certain languages. So it becomes easier, convenient for the users to, use the language in their, use this particular tool in that particular language. So that is definitely helpful in using this tool. This tool definitely gives the solution to optimize it. So learning module also has 32 million plus learning users, 2,500 plus learning customers, and 6,000 plus certified consultants across the globe. So 6,000 plus certified consultant is something that, we have it currently, and they are definitely looking forward to expand the number of certified consultants across the globe because certification is important as part of the project experience. So, it definitely helps us, gives an upper edge when we become as certified consultants. Next, moving on to what are the various usages of SAP SuccessFactors. It is first used for compliance training. Next is automated assignments using assignment profiles, training status, talent development. Under talent development, it is used to cover to-do list, quick links, setting up e-signatures, programs for continuous learnings, and for external audiences, which is course catalogs and libraries. So when I talk about uses of SAP SuccessFactors, it is used for compliance training as we talked about. So assignment profile is nothing but, it is used for automation of the processes, automation jobs. So automatic assignments getting assigned to the users through automated jobs running in 1 hour weekly as per, it can be run daily, it can be run weekly, it can be run hourly. So we have certain provisions to run the automated job. So with the usage of automation of jobs, it becomes easier for us. It becomes, less time consuming. It becomes it reduces the manual efforts behind running everything, so that users can, HR can take up the data and understand that if they are compliant, if they are non-compliant. Okay. So next is talent development. When we talk about talent development, it has certain to-do list, quick links, setting up e-signatures and programs for continuous learning. So when I talk about programs for continuous learning, the method that I gave an example earlier, which says that, I might be required to grow myself into a career from a consultant role into a manager role. I'm required to do continuous process of learning, continuous, set of programs which are necessary to grow myself into a career. I should know certain skill set. What are my responsibilities as a manager? So where will I get to learn that? That will be, I will be able to learn that using the SAP SuccessFactors learning method. One very important step is setting up e-signature. We also have the provision of setting up e-signature using the SuccessFactors learning method. So we have seen various consent documents now, digital e-signatures, being available. So what does digital e-signature means? It means that I have read that particular document, I agree to that terms and conditions, and I give my consent that I are there to, whatever is written in that particular document. So there are forms which I might not be able to physically sign in, right? When I'm completing certain online trainings, I might be required to, complete those trainings, and I might be required to, sign in. So I might not be able to physically sign in those documents or the particular training course that I have read, understood, and I agreed to the certain terms and conditions. So in order to validate that, we can also set up e-signatures in the SuccessFactors learning management system. What are quick links? Quick links are nothing but, you see a learning courses, there is an employee homepage. Under the employee homepage, you see that, there are certain mandatory trainings that are being assigned to you, or there are certain cybersecurity courses that are being assigned to you, right? So when you see that there are certain, compliance or cybersecurity courses assigned to you, you will have to manually click on each of the course, and, or you have to open the course and see that you take up the course, and then it marks as complete. So rather than doing that, if your HR or if your learning administrator sends a quick links to you, which will, you can just put the URL in the browser, copy paste it, and then you can access that particular course. So that becomes convenient for you as well to take up the course and just complete it at one go. So that also is a, very nice feature of this SAP SuccessFactors learning management system. When we talk about external audiences, so we as employees in the organization, or we as, business, from the clients, they are, internal audiences. They might also have external audiences where we have the external user functionality available in the SuccessFactors LMS system. So when we go through the training session from Uplatz, we will be talking about, how external audiences are being catered in the SuccessFactors LMS, how the configurable homepage is being provided to them because they are not part of the organization, how do they access the course, and how do their learnings get tracked, and what is the benefit, if I am an external audience, if I'm an external user, how I am going to get benefited by, taking up courses as an external user. So we will also learn about those features. Next is table of contents. What do we have in the table of contents as a summary, as part of, the whole learning curve, when we talk about the various training session and demo sessions in the SuccessFactors learning management system from Uplate. So what we will be covering under the, table of contents, it is user management, learning management, mobile. So we also have SuccessFactors mobile application wherein learning management system can be extensively used. We have all the provisions, we have all the navigations, we have the content to be downloadable on our mobile, both on iOS and Android. And how does it, benefit? How easy it becomes for us to, navigate. We are on the go somewhere. We cannot access laptop. It definitely becomes a handy to use mobile, access the content, and complete whatever is there in our to-do list. So there are approvals for an organization by business unit, by departments. How do we set up approvals for an organization? So you are definitely aware that all the parameters or all the activities that we do around involves when we talk about corporate culture. Everything requires an approval. Everything has to go through a particular certain approval process, and then we go ahead and read step by step, right? So how do we set approvals in an organization is something that we will be talking about. We will be talking about demonstrating the quizzes, how quizzes are set up. You see many surveys, many feedback forms coming to you. You might be purchasing, shopping something from Amazon, right? You will be getting a feedback survey, or you might go in store, you will get some survey, you will get certain questionnaires, right? So how are those questionnaires being designed? How are they being built from the back end? So we will learn about that. Then we will also be demonstrating about observations, where it's which is task checklist. So when I talk about task checklist, what does that mean? It means that I'm given certain tasks. Suppose I'm required to complete 5 tasks. I'm assigned an observer who will be observing me, kind of supervising me, and he will be observing me if I've completed 5 tasks on time, if I'm able to reach the deadlines of 5 tasks on time. Okay, so that is demo of observations. How do we list down all the observation? How is a task created and how is it assigned to a certain user? So we will also be looking at that. We will also be looking at reports. I talked about analytics. I talked about LMS learning reports. So we will be looking at the reports in the upcoming classes. How compliance reports are being tracked, how audit reports are being tracked, how does it help the HR, or how does it help the users, how does it help the administrators, instructors in the organization who are conducting the classes, who are facilitating the classroom sessions, online sessions. How does it help them to track how many users have completed, how many users have attended? So all of these activities can be tracked through reports. There is a reporting feature which is a very good functionality in a learning system, and it definitely helps us in tracking everything. So next is physical resources, right? So what does physical resources mean? Resourcing, it means when we talk about physical resources, it means I am conducting a virtual session right now. So you might have seen various institutes conducting sessions, or you might be going to a class where you would be going to physical resources, right? So physical resources, it means that there might be equipments linked to it. There might be a building linked to it. There might be a meeting room linked to it, right? So when I talk about meeting room, you would be provided with a particular meeting room. Where you are requested to sit in there, occupy the space. When I talk about physical resources, it also includes equipment. Suppose I am facilitating a classroom session now, and then I would be required to present it to you. So when I am required to present it to you, I might require a projector, I might require an LED, I might require a notebook, pen, paper, to give it to the users who all will be attending the session. Next, I talk about verification roles, which is admin, instructor. So there, so verification roles is also in correlation to approvals. So when I talk about verification roles, we verify the role, right? If I'm onboarded into the organization, I'm given a certain role. Given a certain responsibility. So when I'm given a certain responsibility, how is my role being verified, or how am I provided with the required roles and responsibilities? So I would be defined under a particular user group. So I fall under the category of administrator. There are users, or there are employees who fall in the category of HR department. There are users who fall in the category of instructor department. So there might be certain departments, and in that department there might be various users who are assigned to different roles. So that is how the verification rules are being created. They are verified, valid, and then given certain permissions depending on what their roles are. So that is nothing but role-based permission access. Next is scheduling. So scheduling is nothing but related to any type of classroom session. So there are two types of sessions. One is online session, which is virtual, and there is something called as classroom session. So scheduling means both the type of session. It can be the virtual or it can be the classroom. Then there is online content management. What is online content management? Online content management is nothing but, the type of content or the, subject that you see, the course material that you see over there, that is online content management. Next is system configuration, which is very, very important to learn. So as part of this training session, we will, learn further in the upcoming classes how system configuration is done, because that is the first and the foremost thing to learn, that how a system configuration is done, because this is the building a stone of how the entire system will be built up, without enabling, without disabling, and without breaking up any other interlinked systems, or any other third party vendor systems. So according to the business requirement, how do we build the system, how do we configure the entire system, and how do we customize the look and feel for the users, how do we curtail down to the business requirement, is something that we will look at in the further classes. Now let's move on to the next slide. Then the next point is item type. Item type is nothing but the type of sessions that I talked about. It can be either online or it can be virtual. So that is item type. Then there is completion status. Completion status is nothing but I have completed certain trainings, and then I'm required to check what trainings have I completed. What is the status of my completion of learnings? So those are defined in the backend under system configuration. So we will see, when we talk about system configuration, we will learn all of this, technical terminologies of what this means. Next is connector. So when we talk about connector, so it means that connector is nothing but picking up the automated jobs. We talked about automation, we talked about innovation, which is a new trending era, or which is a upcoming technology in the market. So we need to learn more about automations. How do we automate various features? How do we automate various functionality? So that can be learned using connector. Next is delivery method, the method of, delivery of the learning courses. Next is user custom columns, which is nothing but customization in the SAP SuccessFactors learning management system. Next is approval processes, approval roles. After that, we will talk about subject areas or categories. Subject areas or category is nothing but, we have seen that there are various departments. So there are finance department, there is HR department, there's procurement, there is, IT, there is infrastructure, all of this department. So, there might be certain courses which are linked to only particular department. There might be business department courses, there might be finance, there might be HR, which HRs need to go through, there might be, IT team needs to go through a certain training. So we can link those training to a particular category or a particular department. So that is called subject area categorization. Okay. So next is curriculum types. So we will learn what is the difference between curriculum and program. So there is something called as curriculum, there is something called program, and both of them are very important functionalities in the learning management system. So curriculum and programs can be widely used for new hires. It can be used for compliance trainings. It can be used to complete cyber security, fraud risk awareness, which is, widely used in the market. So we nowadays know fraud has, increased rapidly in the market, and we need to make our users very aware not to click on any suspicious emails, not to click on any of the suspicious links, which might be a fraud happening in the organization. So those are defined using a various type of learnings into the success factor system. Then there is something called as interface or labels. Labels are nothing but, the terminologies that you see. We can change the terminologies according to the business requirements. Next is additional admin role. When we talk about additional admin role, what does this mean? So this means that, there are various roles in the organization. I talked about it previously in the admin and instructor. Admin, instructor, user, HR. So we will define the roles accordingly. Next, we have, something called as search bar. So search bar is nothing but, we have search bar in the Google. We have it in Microsoft Edge. So we have the search bar everywhere. So how do we, use that, or what is the usage of it? Or can there be any customizations made? So that is all done and configured and basically used in the employee homepage, learning homepage, and that we will understand more about it in the further sessions. Record configuration is nothing but, the enablement and disablement of the fields. So you see a particular field, right? You see a questionnaire survey written, or you see a feedback written. So I might not be able to, I don't feel good with the terminology of using it as questionnaire surveys. I will change the terminology and put it to some other wording. So where do I want to display that particular field is something that we will learn under the record configuration. Next is search selectors. Search selectors are nothing but, which field should I select? Which filter should I use? So if you use Gmail, you might, you can put filters. You can put from address to address. You can put has attachment, yes, no. Um, we can, put what is it, date range we can put. So, search selectors in SuccessFactors learning management system also gives that feasibility to use it. Okay. Next is APMs. APMs are nothing but automatic process management jobs, which is, the automation and innovation kind of jobs. Next is LMS commerce and finance. So what is LMS commerce and finance? This is a very interesting topic to learn. So we will see how LMS commerce and finance is, linked to SAP SuccessFactors learning management system, which means that there might be courses which might be associated with a cost. So there might be third party, financial transactions happening. There might be PayPal transactions happening. There might be a third party payment gateway. How do we integrate the system with a third party payment gateway is something that is definitely required to be learned. Next is quick links, which I, explained in the previous slide. Connectors, yes, I did explain about it here. These are automated jobs. Content is nothing but, content is the subject of the course. The, training material that you see, that is content. So how do we link it to an item? Item is nothing but the sessions that we deliver, the type of sessions that we deliver. So online type of, sessions have a content that is a training material inside it. How do we link it? The linkage, the required configurations, the required troubleshooting methods. Suppose we have published a content to all of the users in the organization. So some users have complained saying that they are not able to launch it. How do we troubleshoot it? We as SuccessFactors LMS consultants, we should be able to troubleshoot the content and help the users to get into the launch method. They should be able to launch the content. They should be able to successfully complete the course. This is something that we need to learn more about it. Next is process updates for LMS. Some of the process updates for LMS are basic processes which contains creation of item, creation of class, registration of the users, instructor marking the attendance for instructor-led with or a classroom session. We have reports which are item completion or authorizations. So authorizations, we can add 6 completion statuses as an example. We can, put user has completed, not completed, user has passed, failed. A user should be provided with credit, users should not be provided with credit depending on certain parameters. So this is how the authorizations are being provided. Next is mobile, the usage of mobile. How do we configure the mobile application? How do we use it? How do we navigate it? This is something we will definitely learn. Next is approvals for an organization within the business unit or within the various departments. Then we will talk about demo of quiz observers, which is the task checklist. Next is in continuation to the previous one, it is the assignment profiles. What should each assignment profile assign? It should consist of items, curricula, catalogs, etc. So it should basically, talk about items. It should basically talk about the learning courses. It should talk about how, I should be able to self-assign any course to myself, which is of my interest, right? There might be certain course which I might be, I am interested to learn something new. I might want to explore more on the tool. So how do I find those courses? How do I self-assign those courses will be learned. Catalogs are nothing but what items should exist in each catalog. So I talked about catalog, which means libraries. Or should externals and internals have access to the same items? We should use the delivery methods, approval processes, subject areas, and their various descriptions. What we will cover as part of the all the training sessions in the SuccessFactors learning management system from Uplatz. We will be covering about the SuccessFactors learning overview, usage of LMS functionalities, data migration model. If a customer is using any legacy system, how do we help the customer in order to migrate the data from their legacy system to the SuccessFactors learning management system, which is a very important task because they might have 10 years 20 years using the legacy system. How do we migrate the data from the legacy system to the newer version of the system is something that we will talk about using the data migration model. We have standard connectors for SuccessFactors learning, which are nothing but mostly automated processes running in from various interfaces, running it from various integrations. So how do we integrate? So what is the planning and scoping? How do we define the business rules to integrate that? How do we put in, automation and innovation jobs? How do we define certain criterias into it? What are the key decisions to be made in order to deliver automation jobs? Because as it makes the work easier, there are definitely cons to it. Because once it is done, it is very difficult to erase off the data. It is very difficult to rectify the data which is being automated. So AI has tremendously helped us in every possible way, but there are also limitations to it. So we need to have an informed key decision before we proceed ahead with it. Next is data formatting. There are certain specific data formats defined in the SAP SuccessFactors learning system. Beyond that data format, we cannot put anything XYZ, or we cannot put anything, any characters. We cannot put any character which is not accepted by the system. We cannot put any type of file format which is not accepted by the SuccessFactors system. So we will have to learn what are the type. We will have to understand, we will have to know what each type of file formats are being accepted, what are the date formats, what are the various time formats being accepted in the system. So these are all part of our learnings in the further sessions. Next is content migration. Since I talked about data migration model, content migration is definitely a part of data migration. So when we migrate from the legacy system, all the learning courses, learning history of the user, everything has to be migrated. Next is summarization of what we will cover over here. So today we conclude here with this training session, and we will look for the upcoming slides in the next sessions. Yeah, thank you everyone.